next up at UFC 288, we have Jessica Andrade taking on Xiaonan. Jessica Andrade, 24-10 overall, 3-2 in her last 5. She's coming off that short notice loss to Erin Blanchfield. She's taking on Xiaonan Yan, 16-3 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, and she's coming off that win over Mackenzie Dern. And we all know who Jessica Andrade is, right? Former champion, contender at 2 different weight classes, really has only lost to some of the best people on the planet. Comes forward, likes to bully, she'll bomb away, likes to clinch, slam you to the ground, drag you to the ground, just beat you up. She just big sisters when she wins, right? Big, she's not tall, but strong, powerful, solid BJJ, solid wrestling, good power in her hands. She's coming off that loss to Erin Blanchfield. She looked awful in that fight. She looked absolutely terrible in that fight. Was just throwing haymakers. Granted, if you remember, she fought, and was it a 1 week? Like, did she fight and then fought the next week, or it was like in between?
No, it was a little bit. She just took it on.
I think she fought on a Saturday.
In February. It was 2 or 3 weeks.
I think it was she fought on a Saturday, and then the next Saturday they announced she'll be fighting.
Right now is the 21st and then the 18th.
Okay. So anyway, when she's a bully, she beats the absolute piss out of people. When she cannot be the bully, she struggles. And she did look really bad in that Erin Blanchfield fight, but again, quick turnaround. She's taking on Xiaonan Yan. Xiaonan Yan's a very good boxer. She got well-timed strikes, clean technique, very technical. She will somehow get sucked into dirty boxing fights every now and then, but for the most part, she is a technical striker who will light you up. She, does have 2 UFC losses. They were quality losses, Carla Esparza and then Marina Rodriguez, who's also a very technical striker we broke down. But she's pretty dominant in the UFC outside of those fights. Beat Claudia Gadelha, who's very good. Carolina Kovacevic a few years ago. Angela Hill, who we know is very well-rounded. And she likes to keep fights standing, outstrike her opponents. And I keep going 50-50 in this fight. I literally have picked both sides. Like, I do my notes, and I'm like, I got to go with Jessica. She's going to be more powerful, higher level experience. Should just be able to tough this to the ground. And if you get Xiaonan to the ground, you can have success. And then I watch the fight, and it's like, man, but Xiaonan is so technical. And Jessica looked so terrible in her last fight. Xiaonan can just touch her up, jab, dance around, keep her at bay. So I really am 50-50 down the middle. I don't know what to do here. If I have to make a pick, which I know I do, it's going to be Jessica Andrade, because I think she may be able to drag Xiaonan to the ground. And then there is going to be a big gap there if she's able to do that. But if this stays standing, and she looks like she did in her last fight, which I don't expect because that was short notice, Xiaonan's going to light her up. So super razor-thin close fight. And if you're even considering Xiaonan, that's incredible value at plus 185. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm probably, I guess, considered a Jessica Andrade hater for whatever reason. But
how could you hate her when she looked absolutely amazing against Erin Blanchfield? She looked amazing in that fight. Fucking terrible take that is. Sorry.
No, and I would say that even her wins, when you look at them, they don't really hold up. And I mean, she beat Caitlin Chukagian. It's like, okay, well, we know, and I'm a Caitlin hater as well, so we know that is what it is. Cynthia Calvillo, I mean, we know what she is now, so that doesn't really hold up. Amanda Lemos was that weird, just kind of fluke head and arm against the cage. I think Amanda would have knocked her out if it stayed standing. So that's a little bit of a fluke win there. And then Lauren Murphy. Anyone that has decent striking has just kind of lit her up. Wei Li finished her. Rose in the rematch was beating her up. It's a close fight, but was beating her up at times in that fight. Shevchenko beat her up. Erin Blanchfield is a wrestler. Yes, that was short notice. Yes, it was up in weight. Erin Blanchfield is a wrestler. She's a decent wrestler, but her striking is not great. And in the first round of that fight, what Angela was alluding to was lighting Andrade up. Yes, Andrade is going to have her moments because she just kind of blitzes forward and she's going to lay in power. But Blanchfield was lighting her ass up. And Blanchfield
not according to Mr. Savage. Mr. Savage is Blanchfield
is not a good striker. If you watch that first round, I mean, was snapping Andrade's head back. Andrade is basically like just trying to chase her down very, very wildly. If she does that, brings that same game plan in against Yan, she's going to get absolutely picked apart. I believe that Andrade is kind of that old school fight style, right? And that's been working for a long time, right? I mean, it was almost like the chocolate. I mean, all these guys that just kind of blitz forward and just kind of bully you, and she's been doing that, especially at 115, where this is fight at. But as people are getting better, those fight styles are kind of going out of the way. You're just going to get beat up on those entries by technical strikers. And Yan has been an underdog in like her last 3 fights. She was like a plus 250, plus 275 underdog against Marina, and came in and really went toe-to-toe with one of the best strikers, pure strikers in the division. And you have to remember, too, that she is in that same camp as she's with Uriah Faber, the same camp as Team Alpha Male with Song Yudong. And we saw how sharp Song Yudong was looking against Ricky Simone. And I think this matchup is pretty much the same. Ricky Simone needs pressure. He needs to get you against the fence. He needs the takedown. Song Yudong, that was like a sparring match for him. He was so ready and so confident for everything that Ricky Simone was going to bring. I think the exact same thing happens here. Yan is going to come in with the footwork. It's going to be a lot of Jessica chasing. But Yan is so good with her footwork, and it's getting even better. She was completely embarrassed and demoralized by that Carla Esparza fight. Was completely dominated, and she said, I'm not going to let it happen again. She went, she's worked on it. You saw the Song Yudong make those same improvements, was getting out wrestled. Now he's having no issues with it. Yan is improving fast. I think she is one of those girls that can really make some noise in the division with her striking. I think she's the better striker than Andrade. Yes, she's going to have the power, but she's not really knocking people out these days. I mean, Cynthia, Caitlin, I mean, that is what it is, but I think Yan kind of picks her apart on the entries, and this is a bad look for Andrade. Obviously, if she gets the fight to the ground, she can probably control it, but I think Yan picks her apart. It's mostly striking, and she's the better striker. I think Yan wins this fight.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you. I told you I was back and forth. The only reason I ultimately leaned Jessica is I do think she gets a few takedowns. But very quickly, just to revisit this, I'm a very petty, small person. Mr. Savage, 9000, said, dude, what are you talking about? Directed towards me. Jessica won the first round and pieced Blanchfield up. She looked amazing. Okay. First of all, I have the scorecards pulled up here. She lost the first round. She literally lost the first round on the judges' scorecards, okay? So that's an incorrect statement from you. Then if we just look at the stats, Erin Blanchfield landed more strikes in the first round, landed more significant strikes in the first round, 32 strikes to the head compared to 22 from Jessica. Landed, more strikes at distance, had the higher clinch work. And that's it's just a joke. It's just an absolute joke. People just say stupid shit, and they're not held accountable because they're not on video every week doing it day in and day out.
That's the same guy that was giving you shit about the height.
What?
The height on the whatever. Who was it? What fight was it?
No, that was Ernie. Ernie was like, what's the height difference? Literally,
this was last week when he said somebody's going to be higher. It was Norma Damon or something like that. Somebody's taller, your stats say, and you were like, oh, but my stats are right. And turns out she was shorter.
Okay, well, turns out he was dead wrong.
Damage scores more. Dude, she lost the fucking first round, man.
She literally lost.
Your scorecards don't fucking matter. It doesn't matter what you think. It's what the fucking judges think. Jesus Christ. Oh, she won the... No, she didn't.
Yeah, we're aligned here in that we think it's a super close fight. You ultimately leaned Xiaonan because of the superior striking, which I completely agree with. I'm leaning Jessica because I think she'll squeak out a couple of takedowns and just bully. But happy for Xiaonan to win. Plus 184 is insane value there. I mean, if you're considering Xiaonan to win, I mean, the money you're going to get on that is absolutely phenomenal.
She fights when I was watching that fight, I went and rewatched the Marina Rodriguez fight today for different reasons. And And she fights like Song Yudong. I mean, the way she fights and like bouncy in and out, the footwork. I think it's going to look like the same like that Ricky Simone fight.
Yeah, it's going to be. This should actually be a really fun fight. Jessica Andrade is always in fun fights, and Yan Xiaonan's a very good striker, so this should be a fun fight as well. So, yeah, I'm surprised to see the Andrade quick turnaround like this, but she lost by submission, so it's not like she has issues with her chin or anything like that. But either way, should be a good fight. Tons of value on Xiaonan, and that line continues to move.